So what was your first thought when you found about a data center closure?
My first thought was terror. It came completely out of the blue, totally unexpected. How are we going to do this, and who are we going to get to help us to actually deliver this project? And equally, because it was a platform change, there was no direct business benefit. My key success criteria was to deliver this project to the deadline, but almost without the business realising what we were doing. It was so complex underneath, we needed to migrate all of our workloads into the cloud with no disruption in a very short space of time. So clearly, we needed some help to work out how to do that.
So how did we turn that tight deadline into an opportunity for change?
Once we'd received the news and tried not to immediately react and go into sort of action and delivery mode, and we thought, how are we going to do this, and what's the best way to do this? And one of the things that we realised that we would be able to do is to leave behind a lot of the technical complexity and technical debt that you would sort of naturally have in two big data centres that have been around for 15 years, and to, while doing transition, not transformation, but still being able to modernise our workload and move into a pure cloud environment.
So let's talk through the different stages of the migration that the project took, and try and work out what we think are the most complex.
We had a big drive to get on and do some stuff, right? And we had a very tight deadline, and we felt we need to get going. And we actively held ourselves back, which I think was a really smart move, it turns out. Phase one was very much around choose the right partner, obviously, but then discovery. Do a really focused piece of work of what is it that we've got in the data centers? What are all the systems and the services and the applications and the data? And then get into how does that all interact? What are the interfaces and the connections and all of that sort of stuff? And really put some design principles in place, do the architecture work, do the design. The phrase measure twice and cut once was used a number of times, which was take the time now and get this right. We'll then be able to move into the build and migration phase and then move at pace.
So how have cloud native services and automation changed the way your day-to-day operations work?
So it's a much slicker operation. I think the ops teams are able to do things at pace and at scale that would have been very manual previously, whether that's patching, whether that's doing an analysis of vulnerabilities or issues or things like that. We can take advantage of being able to do things multiple times with the tools, but also because we've got the pattern-based templated environment, it's also really easy to go, right, if it works on that server in test, we can then blat it out across these 400 here with either with cloud native services or with automated tools with confidence.
So what does the future of cloud and AI look like for Hays?
As a result of this project, we have cemented our cloud-only approach. We're actively now looking to run similar projects globally. Cloud will be our only platform, particularly as our cloud environment scales and gets really big. AI will be able to sift huge amounts of data and actually analyze what's going on at that level of scale, and AI will allow us to do that much more accurately, much more quickly, and ultimately then also we'll be able to be able to take action as well, and potentially right-size environments, switch things on and off as needed, and do all sorts of things. And from a security point of view as well, we'll be much faster at potentially spotting threats, working out whether it's really a threat or not, and also what to do about it.
So what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned from dealing with this project?
Putting the right team in place and empowering them to deliver. Part of that's choosing the right partner. Certainly for this project, we couldn't have done it on our own. By the very nature, we deliberately chose you guys for your cloud expertise and for the fact that you've done this multiple times. Then building a single team that can deliver no matter what challenges are thrown their way. And part of the ability to do that, I think, is also then to build effective communication channels. So whether it's technical architects talking between apps teams and version 1 and the Haze teams or the infrastructure teams, whether it's the more sort of the project management layer, whether it's the more senior layer to get decisions quickly or to get risks or issues sorted, but to make that communication really effective and focused on the deliverables. One of the biggest lessons, and it really bore fruit for us to be able to then deliver at pace.
Absolutely, thank you.